If you want to understand Brexit and what happened last night, Britain's relationship with the EU, the whole thing, stop. Don't think about that stuff. It's not really about that. This is a global phenomenon. This is a revolt against technocracy and elites telling everybody else what to do. At the end of the day, for the past 20 years, 80% of the people have been told 80% of the time by the top 20% what to do, what to think, and what's good for them. Guess what? They've figured it out. The 20% needs to listen, because if they don't, they're going to find something out. The Hamptons is not a defensible position.
All right, guys, I'm back. Um, so, so. Hey, as I've said before, I don't want to thank everybody who's continued to watch the channel, continue to watch the stream. If you want to actually help support my channel out, you can always go to my Patreon channel. Patrons get full unedited stream, which goes private after the end of the broadcast. They get the full unedited stream, and you guys who subscribe, and by the way, subscribe, follow, hit that bell notification. You actually will get edited sections. That being said, I actually want to actually make a point, and help me out with this, guys. Help me out. Me as a guy. Now, I've had some wins, I've had some losses throughout my life, and I've done shit to grow my channel, change my settings, things of that nature. But I've never considered myself to be a strong, successful male as an advertisement, because I just am. And I don't think that I would ever just need to record in my car to fucking do a video. And shout out to the people that I know that actually do it, because they may have some different not everybody is fortunate to have a room or a setting where they can actually do their videos. But those people, they generally have reasons. They have families, they have they want to put some distance between their life on YouTube and fucking just they don't broadcast that I'm a strong, successful male because reasons, and you just need to fucking because I am. That being said, and I handled that clumsily, let's listen to this strong, successful male who, yeah. Let's hear. It's story time, people. It's story time.
All right, guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm gonna go over the story.
Okay. Let's turn that shit down. Go ahead.
Story titled, "Am I the A-hole for kicking out my wife and her daughter out of my house?" And in this story, guys, this is about a guy who gets together with a woman with a teenage daughter. And basically, the story goes through all the bullshit he goes through with his teenage daughter and all her hormones and emotions and her acting out, to the point that he, like the title says, kicks her and her mom out of his house. And I'm doing this story, guys, because in spite of my constant warnings about marriage, I know there's plenty of you guys watching this that are still going to go ahead and get married one day. And so on that basis, if you're going to...
Wait, what? Wait, what? I know I started skipping through this story, and this is mostly just because the title was shit, right? But, I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Do he expect his? Does he expect his crowd, his followers to just remain bachelors for the rest of their lives? Is that what he expects out of his people? Like, I'm so confused about this. Because it's almost as if that he expects the guys that follow him, like, not to get with a woman. I but he like everything about him screams PUA. Everything about him, from the fucking expensive looking but most likely cheap ass frames, the well manicured beard and facial hair, like, dog, like, you're not you're not fucking, no, dog, you're not impressing anybody. You look like a fucking clown. But let's continue.
Go ahead and do it. At least sit down, take 10 to 15 minutes to listen to the story of the extreme shit that can happen if you get involved with a woman who already has a kid or kids, and what can go wrong. Okay, it's an extreme case because not all kids are going to be little monsters or hellions, but some will, and you don't need that shit in your life. I'm telling you that right now. And I got experience in this because I have a cousin, late 90s, married a woman, had 2 sons. Same thing. One.
Wait, you don't have experience with it? You don't. Your cousin does. You don't have experience in shit. You are literally. I have so many questions. Let's continue.
Kid, he had mental problems, but he was slow, but he wasn't a problem. But the older brother, never-ending problems. And the second they said I do, never-ending shit for the next 10 years until he kicked him out of the house. Okay? And all the shit he went through. The mother was cool, my cousin's wife, but she had a soft spot for the older son, and at the end of the day, my cousin caved on a lot of things until eventually he laid down the law. It just took 10 fucking years to do it. So I want to save you guys a lot of problems by you hearing this and understanding this so you don't get involved, and you can pick up the signs early on.
Wait, don't get involved with what? Is it, shouldn't you not get involved with women with kids? What shouldn't these guys get involved with? I, like, and say it with me, I have so many questions.
When you got a problem kid, so you can head for the hills and find a woman that doesn't have any kids, any baggage that you have to deal with, okay? Because there's all sorts of headaches when it comes to somebody else's kid that you got to deal with. And those of you guys that watch this that have been in this situation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, story starts off with, and he says about himself, me, he's 32, and my wife, Andy, 34, have been together for about 3 years now. We are married for one of those years. We get along really well. The only problem is her daughter, Carrie, a 16-year-old female. She's a daughter from my wife's previous marriage. Her father, my wife's ex-husband.
You know what? Okay. So, I mean, like, wow. So, of course, they can't use the excuse that, that the mother was being some sort of woman of ill repute. That's great because he said it. She was married to the husband. But it's that whole thing of just like, because I've heard Red Pills actually said if a woman's had more than 2 penises inside of her, she can't really love her children. But I'm just saying, like, I've heard that shit before. But yeah, like, at least he's not trying to make it as if the woman is just bad in some kind of way. But let's continue.
Died in a car accident about 5 years ago. When Andy and I started dating, we took things really slow. She didn't introduce me to Carrie until she knew things were serious between us. That's a common thing. The mother of the child that the guy's dating waits a while before things get serious. Very normal, very understandable. When I met Carrie, she was acting really distant, and overall, she was mean to me.
Wait, what? Wait, okay. Like, her father is dead, and a lot of kids don't want to think that somebody's trying to replace their parent. Like, it's as immature as that sounds. I don't know, we're talking about kids, but a lot of kids actually would feel that way. that somebody is trying to replace the parent that they lost. Like, this isn't fucking new. Adult people actually feel that way sometimes. Like, nothing about that is weird or in some sort of way, like, I don't know, bad. Let's hear this.
Flag number one. But I understood that, of course. I tried to bond with her and spend some time together, but I never forced her to do anything she didn't want to do. I told her to address me with my first name, and I had no intentions to replace her father. I just wanted us to get along. So, he obviously knows that the father died, and she's a teenage girl, and teenage girls are a handful enough as it is, with all their emotions and bullshit like that, and their hormones. Okay, any guys that have sisters, you can look back, remember how they acted when you're younger, or any guys who have daughters.
I kind of get the suspicion that he's never been good with women. I kind of get this suspicion. I don't know. Maybe it's something, and maybe it's something that he's saying. Maybe I'm making a rash rash to an assumption or rash generalization. But something tells me he's probably never been good with women. I'm just taking a guess. Let's continue.
You know what they're like when they're teenagers, okay? But she's already got baggage with the father that died, and you can be empathetic and sympathize to a point, but already.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What fucking right do you have to tell somebody about their grieving process? How fucking dare you tell somebody about their grieving process? I'm sorry. That just seems. Have you human before? There are people who have lost their parents 20, 30 years ago. And they still haven't gotten over it. There's some people that can get over the loss of their parents who they may even fucking love in months. But you are to sit back and tell somebody that, well, you should just get over it. I'm here now. What the fuck? How fucking self-absorbed are you? Let's continue.
He's talking about her being mean to him, showing disrespect. And you're going to see, guys, as things get worse and worse and worse. And what happens if you don't draw a line in the sand and lay down the law? But when you're too nice and easy, they keep testing and testing and testing. And you're going to see. The story goes on to say, things got better, but sometimes she was rude to me and had some inappropriate comments. I never said anything to her because my wife told me to just give her some time. So she's being mean to him in the beginning, being distant and mean. Red flag number one, he marries the wife anyway. Things are okay for a little bit, but now the girl is making inappropriate comments. But his wife says don't do anything about it because she needs time. Guys, I don't care what the situation is like. If somebody's disrespecting you, you check them. You don't tolerate any bullshit, ever, especially from kids, because you know what's going to happen? They try bullshit, and you let them get away with it, guess what's going to happen?
Great. Let's always teach children a lesson that might makes right. Let's do that. Let's teach them that motherfucking lesson because nothing can go wrong with that shit. Nothing can go fucking wrong with teaching the child might makes right. Fuck out of here, dude. Mind you, he's a strong, successful bachelor. I'm not hearing him talking about his kids or how he raised his kids. Like, motherfuckers like him and Joker, where they're strong or successful or better bachelor, you notice they never talk about the kids that they have. And that's cool. Cause like, some people don't want to have kids. But you never hear them talking about the closeness that they've had with children. You never hear that shit. All you hear is like, I hate kids or kids are bad or some other good bullshit or I don't think, like, for real, you never hear this shit. All you hear is, well, that's why you shouldn't date a woman with kids. Do they think some of these guys don't want kids? Like, they're teaching them that alpha males reproduce and spread their seed to the next generation. But, dude, kids fucking happen. Unless you're going to go through, take the extraordinary steps of making sure kids never happen, kids fucking happen. And what the fuck do you expect? Oh my god. Let's continue.
More bullshit, and more bullshit, and more bullshit, until you finally either lose your temper and explode or draw the line in the sand. This guy should have done that immediately. But mom feels bad for her and is letting her get away with a lot of stuff. Is that really helping the daughter? No, as you're going to see. It says here, the wife said, be patient and give her some time. Things really escalated after our marriage. I offered my wife and her daughter to live in my house. Andy, his new wife, immediately agreed, her daughter, not so much. But since she was 15, at the time, my wife gave her no choice. That's when the problems started. Well, there were problems already.
Wait. What? What? Wait, what? Like, okay. So, this is one of the reasons why, and I'm going to say this, it may sound controversial. When you have teenage children at this age, unless it's a financial reason, you may want to really heavily consider actually marrying somebody and move them into a different home under a different structure than what they fucking used to. Because adults don't like change. So you should expect different from the kids because reasons? The fuck? Like, it's almost as if these people believe that up until 18, kids should have no fucking opinion, and then at 18, they're adults, so fuck you. Go out into the world. We're gonna keep you stagnant up until 18, and at 18, well then, you're an adult now, so go out into the fucking world. But let's continue.
Carrie would intentionally make a mess in the kitchen, like destroying glasses and plates, and leave the sharp glass on the ground. Psycho. She would...
Wait. Does he realize the shit that he's literally said about this kid? He is literally saying that the kid is fucking playing Home Alone. Or home with stepdaddy. Like, does he know how this shit sounds? He is making it seem like this kid is a fucking sociopath. And I'm sorry, I'm getting the strange thing that this man, or the retelling of this retold story, that this guy it's just some resentment. Why would somebody want to fucking just sit back and break glasses only to fucking hurt you? That shit makes no sense. But let's continue.
would throw things out the window and insult our neighbors, etc. This would happen like twice a week. I admit I have a bad temper, so I sometimes yelled at her and made her clean up the mess. But I never laid my hands on her.
Oh, I get it. I fucking get it. So, for some reason, she would do shit to piss you off because you're that fucking important to be pissed off. And because of that, she did more shit. It's almost as a fucking vicious cycle. I'm sorry. I don't get these people because, and again, we're hearing a retelling of the story, but it is in no fucking way that I'm just going to sit back and, if somebody has that much of a problem that they're breaking glasses and plates to fucking actually fucking hurting me, it would be an issue where, I don't know, maybe I will call for somebody that can help with mental health issues. And no matter how well, let me stop because there are some mothers that would see their child robbing a bank and just like, that's not my child. But still, you would see those issues before you married the woman, right? But let's continue.
Her and never physically punished her. My wife repeatedly told her to stop behaving like that, but it didn't help. This went on for about a year. A year. This guy put up with this bullshit for a year. Her destroying plates and glasses in the kitchen and leaving the sharp glass on the ground for them to step on. This girl's out of her mind. But who's more crazy, the girl that's doing this or the parents that are sitting back and allowing it to happen? See how it went from her just being mean comments and inappropriate stuff to now her taking it to the next level? You know, with her dad dying, you can feel bad for her. But in a situation a kid like that acts out, you can give that kid under those circumstances.
Okay. Like, I how? But like, then maybe she may have some psychological issues, which is fucking understandable, given the fact that, especially if she lost a fucking parent, like, where is this? Where does this sound where it's anywhere near abnormal that somebody may have some issues stemming from a loss of a parent? I'm confused. Like, but let's continue.
One pass where they pull some bullshit, you let them have it in terms of like laying down the law, but you don't come down too hard after that, saying basically because of what happened. You check them. You don't tolerate any bullshit, but you check them on that and make sure it doesn't happen again. And if it does happen again after that one time when you lay down the law, but you give them a pass before the real punishment and hell begins on your part, and they pull that shit again, it is fucking fury on them. Okay? But see what happens when he doesn't? See when the mom is being too lenient and he's going along with her mommy's plan? Because understand this, guys.
Oh my God, I just got a flashback of Jesse Lee Peterson. You hate your dad and you love your mom too much. Like I don't know what else to say. Like, wow, I sense hostility and rage in this whole conversation about what's going on, either from the poster, the original poster, or this guy. But let's continue.
That kid, he's not her father. And how many times have been situations where the stepchild basically says, you're not my father, or you're not my mother, and you can't tell me what to do? That's his house. That's his house that he married and invited them in. But now he has to deal with this stuff, and now she's his wife. And I might add, now that they're legally bound, depending, because I know this guy, it doesn't say what country he's from, but it's not in the United States, depending on their marriage laws and family laws, because he took her in, now he has to deal with all this bullshit, and if he decides to, which you're going to see later on in this article, what happens, who knows what because she could get the house and his money, all because he didn't see the signs early on. So
Huh? What? They've only been married for a year. That's not how laws work. Chief, dog, look. I know you probably haven't, touched a woman. I know you probably just haven't understood what marriage is. But that's not how marriage works, dog. If he came into the marriage with those assets, he leaves with those assets. It's assets that are acute in the marriage together. That's not how that works. Oh my God. These motherfuckers who have never been in a relationship, who have never been through a divorce, sit back and just want to make some sort of, I don't know, like, how? How do you think that shit? Let's continue.
So I want you guys to pay attention to, if you, God forbid, start dating someone with a kid and there's bullshit going on, pay attention to that stuff and eject. Get out of there. But he did this for a goddamn year. He put up with this shit. If he would have checked her in the beginning and laid down the law, this wouldn't have happened. And I might add that this girl obviously is seriously disturbed, a lot of issues, and needs professional help, in my opinion. Story goes on to...
Probably the one thing that we can agree on throughout this whole fucking first part of this video, like, yeah, she may need help. It's not an incrimination on her personages. It's like especially if your parents divorce and then your father dies in a car accident. That shit is not cool, man. It's damaging. But let's continue.
Say, last week she had outdone herself. Me and Andy were coming home from dinner and the garage door was open. We found Carrie there and she was destroying my car. And he says I have a BMW X5, so a pretty expensive one. She slashed 2 tires with a knife and scratched the surface with her keys.
Wait, a person doesn't just destroy your car for no fucking reason. I know these guys like to believe that women are animalistic and they're just totally unreasonable and totally unlogical creatures, but that shit doesn't just happen. Kids don't just do that shit. There is a fucking reason why. It is something going on with this young lady actually felt that she has to do this property damage. Be it for attention, be it for fucking malice. Like, that shit doesn't just happen. But let's continue.
I completely snapped. I told her evil little bitch to get the fuck out of my house. Never mess with a man's car. Ever, ever, ever. Ever. All the shit going on for a year, and this was this was it. And I wouldn't say the straw that broke the camel's back. It was a pretty big fucking straw destroying the car, but that's it.
Wait, a car is more important than a person. Yeah, motherfuckers like this would actually believe that. Wow, okay. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at it this way. And maybe this is, leading hard to live, right? If somebody is going through that much of a problem, actually being destructive, actually being harmful, actually wanting you to suffer that much where they are literally leaving shards of glass inside of you, inside to hurt you. There is something going on with that. It's something. It is something. And just to ignore it, to just say, oh, she's being a little bitch, or oh, she's being crazy because she's a woman. That doesn't work that way, Chief. It doesn't come like people just aren't destructive little monsters no matter what age they are. And I'm sorry, I know it makes you feel good to say that, but that's not what happens. But let's continue.
And listen to this. My wife sided with her and said that Carrie is just acting out and I shouldn't call her that. After a year of all the bullshit, he has every right to freak out and call her that. I was furious and told my wife that if she's okay with Carrie destroying my stuff, then she can get the fuck out as well. Yeah, dude. We argued for about 15 minutes. During the argument, I said that I want Carrie to pay for the car, and if she won't, I will sue her. And he says in quotes, I have a camera in my garage.
I don't know. Something tells me that this motherfucker isn't some, magnanimous just because I am type person. Something tells me that this person that he's talking about is maybe, like the guy said, has some anger issues or even some control issues. I don't know. I'm getting that vibe. And quite frankly, I don't. Oh my god, this shit just doesn't make fucking sense to me. But let's hear this shit out.
And I had everything recorded. Andy told me I can't do that and that I'm heartless. In response to that, I told them both to pack their bags and get out. It was almost 12 o'clock at night. They packed and left. Good job to this guy. It took him a year to do it, but good job. But can you see, guys, all the crap this guy went through? To his house, his property, to respect from his neighbors, his standing in the neighborhood and all that in the community. Because of this, because he didn't do probably what felt natural in the beginning, to check that girl and lay down the law. Instead, he decided to do the nice guy thing.
Oh God, here we go. The whole MGTOW, like women are just only used for one thing, your sexual satisfaction, and that's it. Like, I don't get these guys. Like, yeah, like, yeah, Panda, you're right. Like, he doesn't seem like this guy just doesn't seem as if he has any idea of how to relate to people, and he's naturally gravitating to a story where, aha, here, like confirmation bias accepted. Like, where it's just like a lot of these people just like this whole MGTOW thing of just like, women are inherently bad because fucking reasons, and I I need to have a way of feeling better about myself. And I'm sorry, like this shit, it doesn't make sense to me. Some of the things that these incel type MGTOW types actually gravitate towards, because it just seems as if they want to be hurt. They want to be, you know, they want to be that whole victim thing of when, because reasons, because I need to feel better about my life, I need to have some sort of villain. Like this is some shitty ass anime of their life. But anyway, I'm gonna be taking a final break, and then we're gonna get back to we're gonna get back to the final video. And while I'm taking this break, remember to like and subscribe.
What do you think that these executives are afraid you're going to do to white America?
Probably stop some racism.
Stop racism?
Yeah, they're probably afraid of that, because then people don't hate each other, then people start talking to each other, and then they start talking to each other, they find out who's the problem.
Which is?
Greedy people.
Greedy. I have a couple things I want to ask you there. Do you really think that some of the guys that you dealt with at NBC, no names, right? Because there's lawsuits for that too, that some of these guys really want to promote racism actively, or is it a subconscious?
I just think it's part of capitalism, is to promote racism, you know, right? In order to make things work. If you feel better because you're white and you can get a job, you use that. I mean, you know, I would.
Absolutely.
Say, I'm sorry, Jack, but shit, they say I'm white, I'm going to use this.
Right, absolutely.
Get this job, I'm hungry, you know. But, and that separates people. So they keep people separated, and that keeps them from thinking about the real problem. That's as simple as I see it. Probably it's not that simple, but...
Now, all right, you and I are about the same age, right? We're in our mid-30s. How long is it going to take before guys who think like you, and I say guys who think like me, people who don't want to have racism in the country, people who don't want to be oppressing any minority, whatever it is, sexual, whatever minority, really get into positions of power and can change things?
You can't get in a position of power, it seems, if you think like that. It seems that the only time you get in a position of power is if you're like the people that are in power. To me, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, people that get to become executives become like the people that were already executives.
I don't know, maybe...
They go in with good intentions, but it eats them up. It's like a cesspool, you know, it just gets on you and it starts
the system
eating.
levels them.
Pretty soon it's all
Is that
gone.
what a cesspool sounds like?
Yes.